Trade talks are intensifying as an NHL insider reveals a blockbuster Dallas Stars trade is incoming, as they've been heavily linked to a star defenseman from the Calgary Flames. We're going to break down all these reports, how it works, and so much more later on this episode. Before we get into that, if you're a part of the 83.6% watching this and you haven't hit the sub button yet, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton, and in return, we'll keep you updated from everything to do around the National Hockey League, from the Calgary Flames, the Dallas Stars, the Toronto Maple Leafs, any team you can think of, we're covering right here on Hattrick HQ, and you're not going to want to miss it. But with that, dears, we can hop straight into this first, where we did see yesterday a Matt Dumba trade to the Pittsburgh Penguins did happen. You can tell this was 100% a salary cap dump coming from the Dallas Stars side, and it kind of signifies that this team is looking at a bigger picture, and that's where a report from David Pagnotta did come out saying Rasmus Andersson, maybe part of it involves Bowen Byram's situation. If that gets resolved, if he signs and stays, or if he moves, that's going to affect the market. Whether it's Dallas or Vegas on another team, everyone's monitoring the situation. Now, we've seen the reports. There's been so many of Rasmus Andersson linked to the Dallas Stars with these moves. It's really looking like this trade could be on the horizon. I mean, before we get into some comments from the Calgary side as well, what is your initial thoughts on Rasmus Andersson once again being linked to the Dallas Stars?
Well, we've heard other reports out of Calgary that maybe he won't re-up and that he, it could be a similar type situation. I'm not saying it's the exact same thing, but similar situation to Matthew Tkachuk a few years ago, where they say, I'm not going to re-sign with this team. Please find me another place, and you can get some assets in return. And I think it's interesting that, Pagnotta and also a couple of other insiders are linking him to the Western Conference specifically, and Dallas or Vegas. Now, we've heard a lot of smoke around and chatter around the Vegas Golden Knights. And I think Dallas is an interesting one because, as we've talked about all offseason, they need defense, right? They need to revamp their defense. It's not as good as it was 2 years ago at this point when they went to the Eastern Conference, or the Western Conference final, against the Edmonton Oilers for the first time. And then, of course, what happened this year. And they've been trying to free up salary cap space to add on the back end, and because they just signed Mikko Rantanen into that monster extension. Like you mentioned, they've made a couple trades already. Matt Dumba has been shipped out. Obviously, Mason Marchman's been shipped out earlier this offseason. So they're making room. And I think it could make sense for them because, again, they need defense. And so then Vegas doesn't get him, and you don't have to play Vegas with him and a couple other new pieces that they've gotten as well. So it could make a lot of sense for the Dallas Stars. This is a great offensive defenseman, or two-way defenseman, I guess. He definitely doesn't lack defensively, but, it does have some really good offensive skills there. So really good two-way defenseman. And I think it could make a lot of sense for the Dallas Stars to acquire him this year, and then obviously re-sign him to a contract extension.
And I mean, the big thing is a lot of people are going to look at the plus minus, but we try to avoid that because that's more of a team step. But looking at Rasmus Andersson, 11 goals last year, 31 points, which is a bit of a down year from when we've seen in 21-22, putting up 50 points, including 46 assists. He blocks a load of shots. Andersson is a piece that a lot of teams are going to be in on. As you can see, everyone's monitoring the situation. The big thing is you're trading for an expiring contract. This is why Calgary is sitting with him and looking at the trade market, as they're not sure if he's going to return to this team, and you don't want to lose him on the open market for nothing. And I do like what you said. This is a team, the Dallas Stars, that does not want Vegas to continue getting better. We know they just lost a defenseman. We know they went out and picked up Mitch Marner on the open market. This is a team that's getting better, and Dallas needs to continue counteracting this by getting some big fish. And Andersson shouldn't just be a, hey, we want him because they want him. This is a very good ad. And the big thing with this is you're getting a UFA at the end of next year. So if you're looking to extend, it's going to cost a bit. Scotia Stats has him at 8 years at 9.7 mil per year. This does seem like a lot, or 8.7. But the thing is, with the cap going up, you can see the comparables on the side. Yes, he'll be in his late 30s when this is up, but this is the team that's almost in a win now mode. You know how good this Dallas team is. And the biggest thing they need to add to this team, they have the firepower, but they need to add defensemen to this roster. And Andersson slides in perfectly to play with Hurley, one of the best up-and-coming defensemen, underrated around the league, minus Dallas Stars fans and anyone that watched Hockey Canada as well. But getting Andersson on this team, I think, is a huge step and changes everything. Before we get into implications, could you see Andersson coming into this team, immediately taking over that right spot? And in my opinion, this is one of the best cores of a top 4 defense in the league with Andersson there.
Yeah, he would be the best defenseman on the right side there instantly for the Dallas Stars. And I'm not counting Heiskanen, of course. He does play the right side, but he's a left shot. I mean, in terms of right shot defenseman, he would instantly be the best one. And it would lengthen the lineup. It's no surprise, like you said, that they need defense. When you look at the top of their lineup, they're pretty solidified. They got Matt Duchene on a darling deal. I did not expect him to sign for that and re-sign with the Dallas Stars. So they got, a great value contract in him. Mikko Rantanen, of course, they just locked up. He's a superstar in this league. Jason Robertson also needs a new contract. We don't know what's going on with that, but you got him for this year at least. So if you had one more piece on the back end, you're looking very good because Thomas Harley, like you said, he has arrived. He is a star in this league, a really, really good two-way defenseman as well. And if you add another one in Rasmus Andersson, you have a very dynamic team. And you have the goaltending. That's a big thing. You look across the league. I mean, what if the Dallas Stars, and again, we can play a what ifs all we want, but what if they beat the Edmonton Oilers? They have better goaltending than the Edmonton Oilers. Maybe they could have challenged the Florida Panthers. You never know, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens down the stretch here in the offseason heading into next year, because they could really use a player like that.
And I mean, we've seen coming out of the Calgary side, there's a lot happening right now. They asked Conroy about his thoughts on the situation. He said he's totally fine with playing in Calgary. That was the last conversation. He said that he's a Calgary Flame. When he comes back in September, he'll say the same thing. I love it here. You can read through everything Conroy said, but this trade does feel like it's in the works. From everything that's happening, it might not happen as we post this video. We know a lot of teams are basically gone fishing at this point, as there's not a lot of chatter around the league when it comes to talks between teams, but they do need to clear up cap space. And there does seem like one casualty that would be heading back the other way, and that would be Ilya Lyubushkin making $3.2 million. Now you can bring Rasmus Andersson in. With Lyubushkin gone and this extra cap space, you have enough to take this full contract back. You might have to send someone into the minors, but that's not a big issue. But the biggest thing is, and I think the implication with this, like you kind of alluded to, this is the team that needs to sign Jason Robertson to a new contract next season. Do you think bringing in Rasmus Andersson could be one of Neil's deals where he looks at this and says, hey, we're going to end up having to move Robertson, so let's get a defenseman and get the talks with him done faster?
Yeah, I think that could end up happening. To me, you want to keep Jason Robertson as well. He's one of the best goal scorers in the league. We've seen that he can put up 40 points. I think that 40 goals, excuse me, way more than 40 points. But I think that he could actually end up scoring 50 as well, or well over 50. It can be. He's a very dynamic goal scorer. The speed isn't there. We know that, right? He's not the fastest player or anything like that, but he can score goals in a lot of different ways. So, I do think you want to keep that player, and the salary cap's going up at a significant amount every season after this season, right? They're in a cap crunch right now, but it might not be next season. Maybe you move out another depth piece, Jamie Benn, something like that, because of course he re-signed for the 1 year as well. So you free up some salary cap space. So it's going to be interesting to see what they end up doing, but I don't know if you should sacrifice per se for Rasmus Andersson, Jason Robertson. Try to keep both of them. And we've seen that they're moving out different pieces right now to free up more and more cap space in Matt Dumba and of course Mason Marchment. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do, but ideally you would keep both of them because that's what would make the team so dynamic.
But I mean, Stars fans, is this the type of player you want to add to solidify that top 4? Is this the perfect right-handed defenseman to play with Hurley? What are your thoughts on the Robertson situation? Because that's a totally different video, but we love reading the comments down below. If you're a Flames fan watching this, what would you like in return? If you're Vegas, stop being greedy and getting everyone on the market. Go down and leave a comment down below. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back with another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark, with my co-host, Darius, and take care.